Conversations with Sandy and Friends, a weekly talking segment with invited guests, best-selling authors, international speakers, coaches, and business leaders. A collective conversation aimed to empower, encourage, inspire all that listen. So welcome to our show, Coffee Conversations with Sandy and Friends. Welcome to another episode of Coffee Conversation and Book Talks with Sandy. And yes, we are powered by CTR Media Network. And I am super excited to have you on with me on tonight. We're powered by CTR Media Network, where we are heard in over 350 million viewers worldwide and over 100 countries globally. Listen, I am super excited for you to be on with me on tonight. I want you to go ahead and get it shared out. I am your host and creator, Dr. Sandy Sanders. I am super excited to have you here. We are a platform, yes, that we host authors, anthology book projects, speakers, anthologies, as I mentioned, speaker events, and a special awareness that we are doing tonight. So listen, we're going to be on tonight. Usually, y'all know we've been fully packed with authors that have been coming on and sharing their incredible stories. So kudos to Reverend Dr. Allison G. Daniels and the authors of last week. Yes, they hit the #1 Amazon bestseller. I know they're still on their campaign, but yes, they have hit the #1 bestseller mark and international. So we want to send a great big congratulations out to those group of authors. Well, tonight is going to be an amazing conversation. This month, as you know, that we've been looking at the awarenesses of domestic violence. We've also been looking at breast cancer awareness. And this year, we wanted to also bring and shed light on infant loss. And so this is the month of infant loss awareness. These are powerful, powerful stories of encouragement, faith-filled conversation as we continue to highlight the stories to inspire what healing, empowerment, and spiritual growth. I do want you to stay tuned because I have an amazing guest on with me on tonight. And yes, I had a chance. She actually was referred to our platform, and I'm super excited to have none other with me on tonight. That yes, and we're going to have our guest on. And if y'all just excuse me here for a second as I pull up some information. Yes, and okay, here we go. We are going to be speaking with the phenomenal, yes, Miss Candice Thompson. Yes, indeed, all the way out of Dallas, Texas. She's a wife, a mother, family nurse practitioner. And before I really get into all of that, I'm excited. So I'm going to do our intro. I need you guys to get it shared out. And when I get through doing our intro one more time, none other than our guest speaker tonight, conversation. That's what we're going to be doing, is having a conversation. All right, is none other than Mrs. Candice Thompson. Okay, nurse practitioner, nurse Candice Thompson. Okay, so stay tuned and go ahead and get this shared out, and we'll be right back. All right. Well, here we are, and we are back, and yes, we are. I am with my amazing guest on tonight. Those of you that are tuning in, yes, Coffee Conversations with Sandy. We're hosting 2 very special episodes this week in honor of Infant Loss Awareness Month. These conversations will bring, as I mentioned earlier, hope, healing, and heartfelt encouragement to families and women walking through the pain of loss, and to all who believe in the beauty of restoration through what? Through faith. My guest who is with me on tonight was referred. We've had a chance to chat. We've actually already had a coffee conversation, you all. And I want to say, hey, Candice, how are you doing, dear?
Hey, Dr. Sanders, I'm doing really well. How are you doing?
Good, 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 good. Welcome. Welcome so much. And we're going to give a great big shout out to Dr. DeRue. And yes, we're going to say thank you so much. Yes, for recommending you. So come on and share a little bit about who you are. You're a wife, a mother, family nurse practitioner, and you're out of Dallas, Texas. Come on and say hello to us.
That's right. That's right. So nurse practitioner, mom, my rainbow baby, which you guys will learn about here soon. It just turned 5, so we're into school stuff, and there's all kinds of. That's just a whole nother level. But I'm grateful. And then I'm married to my husband of 12 years, so we're working on 13. And then a nurse practitioner. I've been a nurse since 2008, and then I went back to school to earn my master's degree in family nurse practitioner, and that's what I've been doing for the last 8 years. So I'm really glad to have this opportunity to come and speak on the show. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're excited to have you here. And in our brief conversation that we had a chance to unpack a little bit, our audience that as we've talked about the awarenesses, and the awareness that we're going to be talking about tonight is on infant loss. And if you will, just give us a little backdrop. And we're going to hit about the disparities of what happens. There's a couple of things in women's health, being able to carry some of those things I'd like for us to talk about as well from the medical perspective. So if you will, yes, you're a mom that has what we call lost a baby. And so bring us in on this journey that you can.
Absolutely. So I have one brother, and my husband has 5 siblings. Uh-huh. And so, when we got married, we decided we were just going to go and enjoy each other and travel. So we did that for 5 years. And the whole time people were pressing us to have a baby. Yeah. Okay, wait a minute. And so, I went back to school. My husband was finished with all of his stuff. Financially, we felt like we were ready. So, I did not struggle conceiving. So I was able to get pregnant like when we were ready to get pregnant, came off birth control, got pregnant right away. And I was a pretty healthy individual. At the time, I was 33. So kind of like an older mom.
After considered as being older, and is that considered? Help me, because I'm 60, I'm 64.
Yes, ma'am. So after age 30, you're considered advanced maternal age. After age 30, and then after age 35, they classify that uterus as geriatric. And so after age 30, you're higher risk for higher pregnancy, and then also multiple gestation, which means like twins. I have twins that were in the family, so we were actually like, oh boy, we might end up with a set of twins. And so because I didn't have any like past medical history, I was able to just go to a gynecologist. Typically, if you struggle to get pregnant or after age 30 and you have a lot of health issues that preceded that, then the recommendation is to have your gynecologist, and then you go to a fetal maternal medicine specialist who follows you closely to make sure that everything goes well, you're healthy, baby's healthy throughout the time of the pregnancy. So for me, I did not have to do that. It was a very quiet pregnancy, super excited to be pregnant. I didn't have the nausea, all the interesting pregnancy stories that people had. Mine was just so basic. I mean, the only thing I craved was Taco Bell. That was it. Taco Bell and like turkey sandwiches. That's it. And so I got to my like halfway point.
Turkey sandwiches. Candice, you said turkey sandwiches.
Turkey sandwiches with avocado and mustard.
So
my husband was like,
"What can we say your husband's name? What's your husband's name?"
His name is Isaiah.
So the Isaiah be going through the Taco Bell drive-through. They stay open until 1 o'clock in the morning.
What?
When you sending that young man to the
Oh
Taco
gosh. Look, I was, and then sadly, it was on the way home from work and on the same side of the highway, so I didn't have to like cross line. I mean, it was so perfect.
It was so perfect.
So that was my pit stop. I know, terrible. I mean, everybody's got their thing, and I've not had Taco Bell since. But yeah, like that was my thing, and so we wanted to wait until first trimester because typically, if you're going to struggle and you're going to lose a child or miscarry, it's in the first trimester. So we were like, lip sealed. Of course, I told my mom, right? Okay. And so we got to that point and I'm like, okay, we could breathe. We made it through the first 12 weeks. It should be fine. So, he comes from a big family and I have a large friend network. So even though I live here in Dallas, I had a shower scheduled for Dallas friends. And my husband's people live in Houston. So we had a Houston base. And then my mom lives in Austin and I grew up in Austin. So I had an Austin shower. And so as all of that was happening, we were approaching Memorial Day weekend. So, it was pretty quiet. I was resting on the couch, sending out texts asking people to send me their invitations to send me their addresses so that I could kick it to the crew and then they could do the rest. And so during that time, I just started having cramping and I thought, that's odd. But of course I'm a healthcare provider. So I said, let me go to my handy dandy cabinet. I think I can take care of this. So, I thought, well, maybe I'm constipated. That's a thing during pregnancy. So took something for that, drank water, took ibuprofen, did the massage. And suddenly there was this huge, just a big, intense pressure in my pelvis. And I thought, okay, well, maybe I have to go to the bathroom. So went to the restroom and before I knew it, my membranes ruptured, my water broke while I was in the bathroom. And, I've never been pregnant before, even though I am a healthcare provider. You just don't know what you don't know. And so immediately, I called my husband because he was upstairs and we hopped in the car and drove straight to the hospital. It's about 5 minutes away. And in my brain, I thought, this could be fixed, right? And I was 23 weeks pregnant, so a little over half the way through. And they gave us, our options. I was going to have a baby. So that was that. But how it was going to play out, that's where my husband and I had to choose, and that was a real struggle because, it was like the red, like the Matrix, like which one is it, the red pill or the blue pill? And so my two options were we could deliver, and as soon as, and the delivery meaning they would have to do a C-section, and then he would have to fly straight to San Antonio. He was a boy. His name was Cannon, and he would have been there at minimum for 5 months. And so, as we're scrambling, trying to figure out what to do, I asked the physician, okay, so what are our options as far as health goes? Like what's the quality of life going to be, right? And the biggest thing they said that he will likely experience are strokes. He'll have neurological damage. His lungs lungs are going to be underdeveloped. And so that could cause issues with growth and development. Or I could have the baby naturally. But he would not make it.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I'm going to pause right there.
Sure.
We're going to pause. We're going to take a deep breath, and everybody, y'all that are watching now, and that you are watching maybe in the replay, I have as a guest tonight, as you can see across our screen, we're talking about infant loss awareness, and the action mother who is with me, Candice, who is also in the medical field. She is a nurse practitioner, but she's sharing her journey. You are sharing your journey with me on tonight. Of the experience. And one of the things, just as we kind of recap, and then we're going to hear from our sponsor, where you brought us up to is that you and your husband, y'all plan for this.
Yes.
And I could see it in my head. Y'all had those in the park conversations.
Yes.
Put it in a diary.
Yes.
journal, and this is what we're going to do, babe. And this is what we're going to do. And then, yes, you get married and have the plan, do the schooling, and you guys decide, hey, we're going to do what it takes and we're going to get pregnant.
That's right.
And everything looks good. Everything looks good until you go to the bathroom. And we talked about, as you shared, some of the food cravings that most moms have. And so you're bringing.
Uh-oh. Ooh, Dr. Sanders.
I think I've frozen there.
Yes, you did. But you're, uh-oh, are you there?
Of our sponsors. And we're going to come back and pick up in the conversation. Okay. All right. So listen, stay tuned. We are being sponsored by, and we're part of CTR Media Network. And y'all, we will be right back. Let's hear from CTR Media Network.
What's something people don't know about CTR Media Network? It's where content truly meets impact. At CTR Media Network, we believe in the power of stories. Our platform is a dynamic blend of education and entertainment, crafted to inspire and empower creators like you. From insightful podcasts to transformative videos, we offer a diverse range of content that helps you learn, grow, and thrive. Our mission? Innovating media, one story at a time. Imagine a place where your voice can reach millions, where your stories can reshape perspectives. That's CTR, Create, Thrive, Redefine. Join a community of visionary creators and make your mark on the world. Because here at CTR Media Network, your content doesn't just entertain, it makes an impact. So, are you ready to create, thrive, and redefine? Dive in and discover a new world of possibilities, where content meets impact. CTR Media Network.
Where content meets impact, yes, CTR Media Network, that's who we're powered by. And we certainly do want you to follow us. If you do want to be a guest on our show, just simply reach out to me. Go to ctrmedianetwork.com and you will find our podcast, Coffee Conversations with Sandy. Reach out to me there. Or listen, I'm real simple. Just if you follow me on Facebook, come on through, get me, send me a message and we'll chat that way, or reach out to me at coffeeconversationwithsandy@gmail.com. Okay. Or you can reach me here on Facebook, or you may be watching on YouTube. Well, listen, thank you guys for tuning in. I am speaking with nurse practitioner Candice Thompson, who is my guest with me on tonight. And she's bringing us in. She's also going to be a published author. We're going to put a big
Oh, Lord.
yes, and listen, all I can say is that you're going to follow her on all social media platforms, and then you'll be able to find out. Yeah, because I can't wait to hear the story and even more. So, Candice, I wonder why it's a very sensitive subject when we can talk about the domestic violence. We can talk about breast cancer. And at one time, at some point in time, yes, how to navigate the conversation. I want to share something with you is that my niece, one of my sister's daughters, and I may have shared this with you, my sister's daughter, Zora, and that's the baby's name, but went through infant loss as well. And sometimes we just don't know what to say. Let's just talk about it in the room. People don't know what to say. And I think having you on tonight is so refreshing because you're going to help us. I'm just going to say, you're going to help us how to navigate the conversation, how to walk through it. And so as we go into, you had a son, your son was born, went ahead and delivered. And so as the doctors and everyone is coming, bring us into how you held on to your faith, because we understand all of the medical things, what could be happening, but you and your husband, help us to walk through that process when you're given choices as you were talking about.
I think I feel like, ultimate God knows what's going to happen, right? And so giving that choice was really very difficult. And we opted to, I went on ahead and I birthed him. And yeah, it was painful. It was frustrating. It was sad because I'm like, Lord, okay, we did it right. And I'm like, in my head, I'm replaying like what happened? Like, is it something that I did? And, during my grieving process and through counseling and, through other people coming out and telling me their story, I learned to A, accept that it happened, but B, accepted that also we don't do life on our own. And a lot of things that happen to us never really happen to us. It happens to us so that we can be there, a support group for someone else. And it's really difficult to come through and help somebody if you have no idea what it's like to suffer a loss. People lose things all the time, right? And so during that process, it was a lot. There were a lot of questions. Not gonna lie, I had a ton of questions. Of course, questions that couldn't be answered right away by anybody. Uh-oh.
So you had a lot of questions. So questions in your quiet time, Lord.
Yes.
The
why? And being that I am in the healthcare profession, I see these, some of these girls, a lot of people get pregnant and don't mean to, right?
Yeah,
and they have uneventful pregnancies and they have a perfect delivery. But they're not ready, right? They're not ready to be moms by any stretch of the imagination. And my husband and I felt that we did it the right way. And so why? Like, what happened, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, my first question was, number one, what did I do? Right. First thing I want to know is like, is this something that I did?
Is it my fault?
Is it my fault? Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened? Like, did I overextend myself? Did I work too hard? Did I sleep enough? Like, did that happen? And then the second question I had for myself was, okay, I'm created to reproduce, right? That's what we've been called to do. Yeah. And I can't not do the function that I was put on earth to do. And I think that was probably the thing that was most like heart-wrenching is I was not able to do that. I couldn't do it. And then of course it wasn't just me who suffered a loss. It was also my spouse.
Yeah, your spouse, exactly.
My spouse was my mom, that was her very first grandchild. It was just really tough. And a lot of people had mentioned like, oh, you miscarried. And so this one was a little bit different. It was a preterm delivery. I delivered a whole baby so big that I had to do a funeral procession, and he had a social security card, and I had to name him. And so, those are things you just don't really think about because no one really talks about it. Right. You just know your friend got pregnant, she had a baby, and the baby's beautiful, right? Yeah. But there's so many steps that have to happen in between conception and delivery. Yeah. And so in my quiet time, there's just a lot of grief and a lot of why. And I will say my mom has been really instrumental and also a counselor. And funny enough, this counselor literally had the same story I did. So not only was she washed in the blood of Jesus, number one. Number two, she also had the same struggle, the exact same struggle that I had. And then number three, she was a professional who knows how to deal with grief and how to walk people through that. Yeah. Because I feel like sometimes people grieve silently, and it's part of life. It's very important, and you have to do it. Otherwise, it will infiltrate all areas of life if you do not address it appropriately. And so that was actually my first experience with counseling. And I hate to say that as a healthcare professional, because, counseling is a little taboo. I think post-COVID, people are more open to going to counseling because it's brought out a lot, and mental health has now been brought to the forefront. But I will say even some of my older family members were like, why are you going to counseling? Just take it to the Lord, which I did. And I needed some professional help.
And I was just reading something, with the mental health. And I know in what I do professionally, I have to talk to military families. And so I take those types of calls on the weekend. And so I understand, but I'm old enough to know and remember that, yeah, just pray about it. Just pray about it, not realizing, and people, we can't blame the church because not knowing and being equipped, but so many broken women um, didn't have a safe space. So many women my age, we did not have a safe space that we could go to the mother of the church, because what would happen? Baby, just pray about it. Let's get on our knees and we hold on to the altar. But you're broken inside. You have so many questions. And then you also need someone that is equipped, that can walk you through those
Absolutely.
spaces and times, because
100%.
it can hit you anytime.
Yeah, it does.
You anytime. Our subject matter tonight, you and I were talking about infant loss, and you hit on something about the grief process going through. Y'all wasn't prepared for that. You were
No.
prepared to bring him home and the
That's
whole
right.
night, but you were preparing other things and going through that journey. And so, audience, you may know someone tonight, or you may be listening to the replay, or you may be listening now, that has been in the journey of losing a child or going through pregnancy loss. And so that's what our guest is sharing her journey with us on tonight. And I do want to thank your husband for, thank you. I want to thank you, sir. This is a replay. Thank you for lending your wife to us on tonight. I'm so honored. And so, Candice, as you were sharing, is that what you went through, but having the after, asking yourself the questions and the whys,
Yeah.
and would you say that it was your faith? Also, sometimes, let's talk about that. Sometimes you make faithless.
Yeah. Yeah. So, one thing that I do know is, it is difficult to know who God is if you're not ever put in a situation where you have to lean on him, right? It's difficult to trust. And it's not that, it's just, you don't know really who it is unless it's like a test, right? Like you can study all day, but if you don't fail, when you're put to the test is when you truly understand where you are. And so I realized that I had two options. I could be mad, right? I could be so frustrated. I could run in the opposite direction, or I can say, okay, Lord, now what do I do? Right? Help me to pick myself back up. What is it that I need to do? My favorite verse was Psalms. Oh God. I look to the hills from which cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, who created the heavens and the earth. And that's really all that I could do, because in moments where it hit me, and like people are out with their kids, and we had everybody was having babies. That was the worst part. Everyone was having babies, and you don't want to not be happy, right? Because that is something that God has put, they're in a situation, they're in a season where it's time for them to do that. And so during that time, I learned a couple of things. I learned that thing number one, not everything is going to go my way. Number one. Number two, God can turn lemonade into lemons, like lemons into lemonades. And it was a very ugly situation. But what I learned during that time is he is more than just somebody who saves my soul, right? I'm grateful for salvation, but how do I live here on earth? Because life is lifing, right? There's always going to be a challenge. We're not going to be without an issue that we have to encounter. And so how do we do that? Through prayer, through worship. I learned how to worship. Praise and worship for me was just kind of like a formality. Oh no, it took on a whole new different meaning. I learned to be grateful for the things that I had. I got to walk out with my life. I had a cousin who, she got pregnant the same time as I did, and she ended up with a C-section, and she died in the hospital from a hospital-acquired infection. And she saw her baby one time, and that was when she got to hold her for the first time after her C-section. So my cousin walked away with his baby. That was it. My husband walked away with me, and we could try again.
That's another conversation. As I was doing my research, Coffee Conversation has the platform that we talk with authors, the majority. But audience know that I'm pretty, this is where I am, and I feed off. I work with the energy of my guests. That's one of the things that sets us apart in our podcast. I believe that there is other husbands and wives that, especially men, they have this where they've lost a wife during a pregnancy, during delivery. And that's a subject that we need to know and shed light on there more. There's husbands. And so, you just hit on something that's on my to-do list. So listen, we're just wanting to make sure that we bring people that can bring about healing to in our audience. And so you hit on something, like you said, right there in your very own family, your cousin passed away. And like you said, the father came out with just his baby, not his wife, and your husband you came back, you're here for your husband. And that is as much as we see it, that was God's way. That was just God's way. Right. And we know now why. Right. We do know why. Yeah. Right. So listen, we're gonna get to that part in just a moment. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but you kind of
you're fine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, you didn't. Circumstances, we don't have any control over those. But I also learned that I have control over the way that I react. And so people are always watching. And so what are you telling people who will never pick up a Bible? And so that's, after I kind of got through the, like the messy cry, blubbering, because it was ugly for like the first 2 weeks. But that's okay, Lord. I got to get up. All right, let's go. And so when I did, it was amazing to see how many people asked me, how did you do it? And that's when I know that when you go through things, God gets the glory every time, because there's no way I could have done that on my own. And so, that's how I was able to get through it. I did a vacation Bible school 2 months later, and I was grateful to do it. I was in there making crafts with kids who are not mine. And I'm like, I don't even know if I'll ever be able to have a baby. I have no idea. But that's not the point. It's to keep going.
Oh my goodness. Was that something like a spiritual therapy for you? To be able to
it was because generally I'm a yellow person. I love I feed off of other people. I love being around people. I love being around kids. They're funny to me. They're so funny. And so that was hard, but a lot of folks are like, how are you doing that? I hosted baby showers and I did it because I love that person. And I know that if I'm meant to be a mom, it'll happen for me, but I'm not going to not rain on someone else's parade because that's not my circumstance. Right. Again, lots of prayer and therapy got me there. Okay. I did not arrive at that on my own. Lots of prayer, lots of therapy. But being able to be fine with grieving and crying. My husband he grieved differently. And that was another part of the reason why I went to therapy. He didn't know how to be there for me, and I couldn't tell him. I couldn't tell him how. And so he did the best that he could with the resources he had at the time that it happened. Yeah. But I think that ultimately God put me where I needed to be. And that was with a therapist who knew exactly what it was that I was going through.
I love it. I love it. Those of you that are tuning in, what a good place to pause. A therapist that knew what she needed, and God. We Absolutely. Are tonight with my very special guest. She is a nurse practitioner, but she's also going to be a inspired author. Yes, Lady Candice. I'm giving you another name. She is Lady Candice, nurse practitioner. Yes, she's just Candice Thompson. And so I am super excited. We're going to just give you all a little bit, as we're talking about this month, if you will allow. What we're talking about is the month, the Infant Loss Awareness Month. That March of Dimes, you all have this information out, is that October is Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness. It is a time to honor all of the parents and parents to be who have experienced loss on their journey to grow their families. And so if you would like to find more information or find comfort in what they have provided through March of Dimes, I will be putting this information. They have a wall of memory, and they have families that can also find comfort and connection through their wall of remembrance. And I just want to briefly share my screen so that we can bring this up for you guys, and we will hear from, again, one of our sponsors, and we will continue on because you all, we've got something to tell you, yes, with our guests, because we got the other part of this beautiful story. Okay, yes, we do. I'm going to share my screen here. You can find, if you just simply want to go to Facebook page, and you will be able to find March of Dimes information. They're found on all social media platforms, but we just want to honor that and just give you a path, okay, and give you a path. There's some little infants there, but here is the path. October is Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month, and you can find March of Dimes, and there's lots of resources that are out there that can give you some assistance in your journey. But most of all, here is one lady who has walked that journey and will be sharing her story, a portion of her story, in an upcoming anthology. But just a little plug there. So as we're hearing from, I need to share one more. We've got one of our sponsors. We're going to hear from, let's see who we got here. And we have Dr. Nikki Ziegler, yes, who is the CEO and founder. Sponsor alert. We're thrilled to welcome I Speak Her Totes, designed by Dr. Nikki Ziegler, as the newest sponsor of Coffee Conversations with Sandy and Book Talks podcast. For women who are bold in the boardroom, powerful in the prayer room, and confident at the brunch table, this brand was made for you. I Speak Her Totes, you can find at ispeakhertotes.com and all social media platforms. Welcome, I Speak Her Totes. Okay, I Speak Her Totes. You can find it, yes, on ispeakhertotes.com. At this time, yes. So, Candice, you brought us all through the journey of your son being born. And what was his name?
So his name was Cannon.
Cannon. Oh, my goodness. And he was named after who?
So we just really like that name. He was not named after anybody. We just thought it was a really cool name. And so, but that's the name that we had designated. And really, we were kind of going back and forth, like, did we want to save that name, you know, for a viable baby? And we ultimately decided, nope, that's the name that we gave him. That's the name that he will have.
Yes. And so you've walked us through, our audience, you walked us through the journey of the decision, and then, yes, of his transition, his passing, going through that, and then afterwards, the healing process. Yeah. And now we're at a space that the Lord has just shined on your wound. Bring us in. Tell us about what took place after you and your husband, again, y'all had the conversation. What made you decide? And yeah, y'all, I'm talking about, yeah, she had another baby.
I did. I had a rainbow baby. For those who are unfamiliar with that, that's baby after the storm. Baby after the storm.
Exactly. When my niece, she put out, we were pregnant again, and I said, "What's a rainbow baby, girl?" And she had to explain it to me, so I understood with more sense. I was like, "What are y'all talking about?" So okay, so I didn't quite understand. So come on, help an old lady out.
Oh yeah. So basically, a rainbow baby is a baby that that you birth after you've lost. And so just like a rainbow, the storm, it's ugly outside, and then all of a sudden you get this beautiful rainbow that's occurred after the storm. And I mean, I think it's kind of prophetic too, because that was God's promise. He would not ever send a flood again, and you get a rainbow after. So anyway, that is a rainbow baby. And so, yes, we waited for about 1.5 years. Really, my husband was very hesitant to move forward because it was traumatic. And we didn't know why. So there was a possibility that maybe it could occur again. But so this time I was a geriatric uterus. Okay. So I had a regular gynecologist, and then I had a specialist. And so for me, in order to stay pregnant, I had to have a cerclage, and that's basically they suture your cervix. They sew your cervix closed so that it does not open beforehand. And then also I had progesterone. That's a hormone that's really high whenever you're pregnant. And so that was something I had to use. It was an injection that someone else had to give me every week. But the things that you do, right, in order to potentially have another child. And so we were like, okay, God, this is it. Let's go. And so we did. And we were very quiet. This time there was no social media post. There was no extra baby showers. I didn't have like 35 scheduled. I barely took photos. We waited until the bitter end. And so, of course, as I got to that 24th, 23rd week, the anxiety built because there was a possibility that it could happen again. And every day after, I was like, okay, good. We made it, Lord. Okay, we got one more day. Let's go. And so finally, I was able to deliver my baby, and she came right at shutdown. We shut down on March the 14th of 2020. The world shut down that day, and my baby was born 1.5 weeks after in a basically vacant hospital. It was a graveyard outside. There was no movement. But it was beautiful. I had her quickly. I didn't even get to enjoy my epidural, but that's okay because she came and she was beautiful, and we were just so grateful. And we got to take her home the next day, and that is wow. It felt so good. And she doesn't replace her brother. Right. Of course, right. I look at her every day and am so grateful that God chose to give us an opportunity for a second chance. My heart goes out to those who can't. And for those who, struggle either for conception or to go through the whole pregnancy portion, or even towards the end. There's just so much that happens. And I'm so grateful that the Lord allowed us to make it through. So she's this beautiful little 5-year-old baby girl. We named her Aslan. Now, Aslan does have a background story. For those who are familiar with like The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe.
There she is.
Hey, Dr. Duru.
You see how excited we are to see you?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
So, yes, that's our baby. She was named after Aslan in the book of Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe by Dr. C.L. Lewis. And she's just amazing, and we're just so grateful. And so because of that, we have made sure that she, at minimum, knows who Christ is. Her education about who the Lord is just as important as school. Wow. Because he did not have to give me another opportunity, and he did. And so grateful.
Yes, that's as you were sharing, giving birth, that you had this baby, and it's a pandemic outside. No one is like nobody is vacant outside, and you're in this hospital, all of the silence. But in that stillness, I just, as you were painting your picture, it is like, yes, hint, in her story, in your writing.
Really, Dr. Duru got on here to tell me don't spoil it. That's why she said hi. I'm not saying nothing.
Her lips are sealed. The Lord just wrapping his arms around you. And allowing, you and your husband to love on this baby, be the amazing parents that he has, found you to be good stewards.
Yeah.
I'm in a season in my life that I recognize stewardship,
Mhm.
and you have walked this process. And now to be able to share your story, to be able to help others, that you have
Mhm.
found a good steward. And God trusts you and your husband to be able to raise this beautiful, beautiful little girl. And as she will learn of her brother, she will learn
Yeah.
of,
Mhm.
of her family. And listen, I'm just praising the Lord. And my niece and her husband have similar. God blessed them with a son, and so yes, yes, yes. So we're super, super excited of what God has done for them as well. Before we're about to wrap it up, but yes, Dr. Aisha Daru is the amazing, amazing, soon-to-be visionary author of a new book project, and we're not going to talk about it, Dr. Aisha, but I'm looking forward. I hope that you guys will come so we can learn all about these amazing, beautiful women. But I do want to give honor. I had the privilege of interviewing Dr. DeRue on a previous broadcast, and such a delight, such a delight. And so, audience, listen, these are the type of guests that we have, that we want to leave you with relevant information, leave an impact, and have the conversation. Sometimes the conversation can be the hard conversation, but our
Mhm.
goal is to Candice, our goal is to definitely shed the love of Christ with our audience, because yes, with you and I, he is our first. He is our first. So I
Yeah.
want you to stand up, show your shirt,
Oh,
you know,
oh, oh,
show it
yeah.
tight, y'all.
Um, this
Yeah,
is art of homage, yes, but God first.
he's going
The
first.
Christian brand that I love.
Yes. Okay. You got to tell me about it. And so y'all know, usually I come in pretty smooth, with my outfit and my jewelry. Well, yes, I have my little pearls going on, but y'all know I'm part of the Herpreneur Network International, and we are wearing tonight our shirt that we have. It's called Healed Women as I Stand Up, Heal Nations. Let me see if I can pull my camera back just a tad bit. There you go. So it's Healed Women, Heal Nations. And so I just wanted to, because that's our goal, Candice. That
Mhm.
we're mutual in that area, is that you're a nurse practitioner, and I'm pretty sure as a doctor, sometimes the coming in with the illness is the byproduct. They just need somebody to listen.
Yeah.
It's the same way it is in ministry. So it's ministry all around. You're there for women, you're there for patients, whether it's male or female, but I think people just want to be heard.
Absolutely. I would totally agree with that. And you had mentioned something previously, and it was how do you bring the topic up, or how do you talk about it? And some people are like, I just don't know what to say.
Yeah,
And then they end up saying some weird cliche that makes things so much worse. And I think that if people could just be there, just
yeah,
be, like, sometimes you can't say anything, right? Because you can't fix it, you can't reverse it.
yeah,
I just need you to be there. I need you to let me cry if I need to cry.
yeah,
I need you to just sit with me in silence. And I think that if people could just let go of, like, I need to impart wisdom. No, sometimes you don't.
yeah,
You don't. You
yeah,
just need to be there and be
yeah.
present for that individual.
My sister's son, I have 7 brothers and sisters. There's
Ooh, big
12.
family.
Yeah, it's big. And I'm the oldest. I know that too.
You second mama. You mama number two.
Know that. But one of my sisters, her son was, and this happens to be the same sister that her daughter, and that was her grandbaby that had died.
Hmm.
But she also is a mother of a son, and her son recently was tragically killed. And I did not, when I cried out to the Lord, um, I said, God, what do I say to her? what do I say? And I had that moment when I heard of my nephew's passing, and I've shared the story on the broadcast before, is I did not know what to say.
Mm-hmm.
And I cried to the Lord. And here is what she said. And when I called her, I said, I'll hit the highway. What do you need me? She said, no. But then in our private conversation, she said, I know you will be here. I know at that time. And so what basically she was saying is that I don't need you to say anything.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to be here.
Mm-hmm.
I just need you to be here. If and we've had our moments that she'll text me, she'll call me, but knowing just to be there. And then the Lord revealed to me, I just need you to pray. I said, and so my assignment to help my sister in this journey as she lives life now without her son is to pray and intercede for her.
Yeah.
And so, as you're saying, you're right. And so I hope that tonight that others will know, because you've helped me in navigating our conversation, because we're hitting new territory now in our podcast. And I thank God for the grace, because here is the key, is that somebody on the other side that may be listening, they may come across this podcast, excuse me, at night. They may listen to it on YouTube. Hey, YouTube family. Whatever, something you have said, we hope will shed light on them, on with their journey. It may not be a baby, but it could be, you mentioned grief. It could be a loved one. It could be a spouse. It could be a child. It could be a coworker. It could be a church member. Grief is grief, and how it hits us and how we navigate it. But I thank God for our faith. You said many are grieving silently. That's a whole other conversation.
It is. I know we don't have time today.
That's a whole other conversation. We can have a round table on that one. But I love what you said. You said lots of prayer, and lots of prayer, and then the communication, the transparency that as you mentioned, that your husband did the best that he could with what he had, and the fact that you all still came together and God blessed you with your daughter. Such an amazing, you're there for each other. Those of you that are tuning in, I want you to give us our last thoughts. It is my custom, you all, as you know, when we end our broadcast, that our guests will leave us with the final thoughts. And so at this time, we do want to thank you for tuning in. Do share this out with someone. And if this is you, and this is broadcast this for you, we just want to thank you. We just want to thank you, want to encourage you. But at this time, I want to present to you our guest tonight. Yes, Ms. Candice Thompson. And
okay. Yes, ma'am. So first off, I blanked on my favorite verse. That was Psalms 121, verses 1 through 2, by the way. I look through the hills, from which cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord who created the heavens and earth. So, okay, got that out the way. I guess my thoughts on all of this is, for those who know who Christ is, we have hope. And so outside of, my what happened and how I got through my journey, I had hope, and I can see how the world could end for somebody who doesn't know who he is. And so just holding on to who he is, and making sure that you surround yourself around people who will support you and will allow you to cry and feel all the feelings. You need a safe space. And so I would recommend making sure that you have somebody who is a safe space for you. And then also someone who is like-minded and can point you to God, because sometimes you don't want to do any of that. And you need somebody to remind you of who he is and who you are in him, and that he loves you, even though you might be going through a trying time. So that's what I got. That's all I got.
love it. As she says, that's all she has. And that is, let me get back on the screen. There I am. That is all she has. And I love it. I love it. Listen, y'all, I didn't really tell you much about my guest. She, of course, she lets you know her age too. She's a 39-year-old Southern soul born in Sweet Home, Alabama, raised in the heart of Arkansas. Wow. And now happily planted in Dallas, Texas. I love how she writes. Okay. She is a proud wife, as she said earlier, of 12 years to one amazing husband and mama to a radiant 5-year-old daughter, her rainbow baby, who keeps her laughing, learning, and occasionally hiding snacks. Candice, she earned her BSN from Mary Hardin-Baylor and spent 9 incredible years serving in CV-ICU as a registered nurse before returning to graduate school to complete her MSN at Walden University. She has been faithfully serving families as a family nurse practitioner since 2017. When she's not in her scrubs, you'll find Candice traveling, mommying, wifing, enjoying girl time, and unapologetically catching up on sleep. Her heart is rooted in the Lord. She loves diving into the word and giving back through her church, where she serves in medicine, marriage, and children's ministry. So tonight, as we have listened in our special conversation filled with faith, laughter, healing, and hope, a true reminder that beauty can rise from brokenness. And so tonight, I do want to thank you for being with me. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
It's been an honor.
Absolutely. Well, listen, guys, we are having an amazing another episode of Coffee Conversation and Book Talks with Sandy. I want you to stay tuned. Come and visit us again. As you know, do share it out. Listen to our broadcast, and you can find this broadcast on YouTube. You can find it on CTR Media Network as well. Listen, as always, you guys know that I love you. Let me say, I do want to share a couple of announcements with you before we end, because we do have a couple of more interviews that are coming up. I will be interviewing Evangelist Pamela Coleman. Dr. Coleman, yes, will be with me on Thursday night. She has a domestic violence nonprofit organization that we will be sharing and talking about. I've put their flyer out. It is also with, let me see here. Let me tell you, yeah, here it is right here. I'm going to share it with you right quick. Let me share my screen so you'll know. We'll be in on Thursday night. And I've got this up on my Facebook page, guys. Hold on just a second. And thank y'all for your patience. There we go. All right. So we will be with, yes, Prophetess Lisa Henderson and Evangelist Dr. Tamala Coleman. They are podcasters as well as domestic violence advocates. They are, their podcast is called Women with Wings Outreach. So we will be speaking with them on Thursday evening, right here, 7:30 p.m. Yes, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So stay tuned. Come back. We'll see you back here on Thursday night. Okay. And y'all, thank y'all for following. Please share it out. And as always, y'all know that I love you. And we're going to be headed out of here. Y'all take care. Okay. All right. Bye-bye.